An independent journalist and Garrison condemned Western media fabricated narratives aimed at destabilizing Ethiopia. Amongst all media outlets such as CNN, the New York Times, Washington Post, TBS, MPR, Al Jazeera, the BBC, the Guardian, Reuters, and others. These media outlets used to come up with false headlines throughout the last week long about the ongoing development in Ethiopia. According to Anna Garrison, the irresponsible report of CNN on its last week publication under the headline, "The capital of Ethiopia is under siege and the city is immersed by the rebels as if it is on the verge of falling under TPLF forces," was really embarrassing, she said.
Reputable. CNN is not reputable among my circle of friends or the people I work with. I think I said this once, I've never expected CNN to tell me the truth. But the headlines that most people see immediately, if they go to the web and search Ethiopia, are usually the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, PBS, NPR, those are public stations, sort of, they have corporate financing, but they are public stations. And Al Jazeera, we see Al Jazeera pretty quickly, and the BBC and the Guardian, and they've all been horrible about this. Right now, the headlines are all horrible, and it's mystifying me because they are all saying that Addis Ababa is about to fall to the TPLF, that the TPLF are right on the doorstep, and the city will fall and the region will sink into chaos. I have talked to several people who are there, and I have exchanged messages on Twitter, and I've looked at the videos that they posted, and they say no, people are going about their normal lives. The government has rounded up guns that are not registered. That's something that we should do here too.
Cable news network, in its acronym CNN, is the mouthpiece of political and economic corporate oligarchies in the U.S., she added.
That, as I said, that is what I find mystifying, and it does frighten me because it could be just more of the propaganda. Like they're saying that the city's about to fall, the TPLF are at the door, and we're pulling our people out. But one has to ask, if they are pulling their people out, if they really are, and it seems so, then I'm concerned that that may mean that they know something's going to happen. Something that would put these people in danger. Now, according to their narrative, that could be street fighting. But you know, I don't want to scaremonger like the rest of the press is. But with this, I have to ask myself, are they considering drone bombing? Now, you probably have to know about you probably have to know about the deployment of ships in that region to know that. And I really don't want to say this to frighten people. I just can't explain why they keep saying this when it's not true. I'm convinced it's not true from the footage and the photographs I've seen and from the people I have talked to who are on the ground there. So I don't know why they're doing that.
The grand rally and demonstration that was undergone in support of Dr. Abiy Ahmed and the military by this week is very promising, and it will obstruct any loophole for Westerners to infiltrate in the country's affair, Anna Garrison added.
Will make a sea change? No. And I should make an exception here. Reuters has been better than the others. And Reuters did report that there were tens of thousands of people in Addis Ababa yesterday. And if they reported there were tens of thousands, then it wouldn't surprise me if you told me that there were 100,000 and that there were hundreds of thousands across the country. But they said there were tens of thousands of people there, and they published photographs that show a huge number of people. The then I'm not very good at estimating numbers when I look at a crowd, but tens of thousands or even 100,000 are not hard to believe in those pictures that Reuters published. So they're a little bit better. And sometimes when the truth is overwhelming, it may have to come out. But right now, like I said, I'm just mystified by the misinformation. But I do think it's going to be hard for them to deny that there were that many people protesting in Addis. I don't think like the signs, go to hell, CNN and BBC and etc. I don't think they're going to have any effect. But the fact that there were that many people in Addis, that is ultimately hard to deny. And that many people turned out in spite of the fact that all these outlets are saying that the TPLF is at your doorstep and everyone's panicking. Obviously, that is not true if 100,000 or so people are willing to go into the streets to rally in support of the government. If that were true, they would be fleeing the city.